Welcome everyone to another Oscars conversation here. I want to do these periodically as we gear up for the Oscars. Right now we're still a few weeks out from nominations being announced, but we've seen nominations come out for multiple awards bodies now. So I thought it'd be nice to revisit Gold Derby and see what the odds and rankings are for the Oscar contenders. Now that we've gathered some more insight into who the real contenders are, the Oscars always tend to throw a few curveballs, but this should, for the most part, give us an idea of who is going to be nominated. Now, the last one I did over this was 43 minutes long, and I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes on each category I'm covering today. I'm doing the acting categories, directing, and picture. Picture, I might end up doing 3 or 4 minutes, actually. I just don't want this to end up going super long like the last one. So I'll start sharing my screen, and let's get on with it. All right, I got my screen pulled up here, and it looks like the 5 that are in are Ke Huy Quan from Everything Everywhere All at Once, Brendan Gleeson for Banshees, Paul Dano for Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan for Banshees, he was previously lower, and then Judd Hirsch for Fabelmans here. And the guys that are just barely out are Ben Whishaw, Brian Tyree Henry, Brad Pitt, Eddie Redmayne, and everyone else there is 100-1 odds. So that basically in Gold Derby speak means you're not going to get it. Now, again, the Academy likes to throw in some curveballs in there, so who knows, maybe somebody from the outside will get there. For the most part, I agree with the odds here. I think Ke Huy Quan is the runaway favorite to win at this point. I would certainly give him the award. Brendan Gleeson is very deserving of an Oscar nomination. I would also put him at number 2 here. Paul Dano, I think, is deserving as well. He's still one of those performances that I think could miss out because it's a little bit more understated. Barry Keoghan has certainly been getting the nominations he needs to garner an Academy Award nom, so I think that he's in good shape right now. I actually think Judd Hirsch isn't sitting very pretty right now. He hasn't been unanimously getting nominations everywhere, and if they go in a certain direction for Fabelmans, if they split the vote, I see them giving it to Paul Dano more. So that leaves some room for someone like Ben Whishaw for Women Talking, Brian Tyree Henry. I know that he got, I believe, a Critics nomination. He could certainly get in there. I don't think Brad Pitt is going to happen. Babylon just is not getting the attention that it needs right now. It got a ton of nominations, I know, but a lot can happen between the nominations that have previously come out and the movie coming out. The movie is a huge box office bomb. It's very divided critics and audience-wise, so I just don't see him getting in there for supporting. So that leaves some room for an outsider to get in here, and I'm not really sure who, judging by everybody that's listed here. Nothing's really standing out. It'd be cool to see Edward Norton get in. He probably won't, though. But yeah, for the most part, I think they have supporting actor right. I don't think Judd Hirsch is going to end up getting nominated. They could end up putting in Brian Tyree Henry, possibly. Okay, I'm realizing that after that category, 2 minutes is way too brief for these. I'm going to give myself 3, okay? Moving on to Best Supporting Actress, they got Kerry Condon, Jessie Buckley, Jamie Lee Curtis, Stephanie Hsu, and Angela Bassett rounding out the 5, with the outsiders looking in being Claire Foy, Hong Chow, Dolly De Leon, Janelle Monáe, Carey Mulligan, and Nina Hoss for Tar. Okay, so I do agree that Kerry Condon has the best odds to get nominated, but I wouldn't necessarily say that she has the best odds to win, if that makes sense. We got to see how some of these other awards bodies go here. She's not the only person getting nominated everywhere. Jamie Lee Curtis, I think I'm just going to have to make my peace with the fact that she's getting nominated. My big thing in previous videos is I just didn't want Stephanie Hsu to not get nominated because Jamie Lee Curtis got nominated. I didn't want those two to split the vote for Everything Everywhere because I really want Stephanie Hsu in there. I think that she really deserves it. Not that Jamie Lee Curtis didn't do a good job, but it's looking more and more likely that both of them are going to get in at this point, which I'm fine with. Everything Everywhere is certainly getting a lot of attention. I think that it's probably the favorite to win Best Picture at this point, so, you know, it could definitely happen. 2 of them getting in for Supporting Actress. Jessie Buckley being at 2 is kind of surprising because she got nominated in some places but not others. I'm not surprised to see Claire Foy taken out here for Women Talking. That movie, it was a frontrunner for many awards going in. I still think it's the frontrunner for screenplay, but now it's just being left out everywhere. It's kind of crazy to see how far that movie's fallen. Angela Bassett, I think, has really good odds now. She's been getting nominated everywhere, but it seems like a very Academy thing to do to leave her out. You know what I mean? Like, the Academy always is up to something whenever it comes to nominating people on the day. You know, you have your favorites, you have the people that have been getting nominated everywhere, and then they throw someone out there at the very last minute that, you know, no one had on their radar. And Angela Bassett could definitely be someone that they decide to snub. I do think that they got it right here with the 5. Janelle Monáe, I think that she has better odds than they're giving her right now, because Glass Onion could very well get a picture nod at this point, and everyone loves it as well. It's been getting a whole lot of good press, so it wouldn't surprise me if they ended up squeezing in Janelle Monáe in there, or maybe even Hong Chau. From everything that I've heard, Hong Chau is magnificent in The Whale, and Brendan Fraser is almost certainly getting nominated for that. So who knows? Maybe the Academy will nominate both of them and Hong Chau knocks someone out here. I'm not too sure. But yeah, for the most part, I think that they got supporting actress right. Okay, best actor. And the top 3 are not surprises. Brendan Fraser, Colin Farrell, and Austin Butler are almost certainly getting nominated. Those were the 3 best actor performances of the year. And to me, it wasn't even close. Those 3 are in their own stratosphere, and then everyone else is falling in under them. I'm not sure if Brendan Fraser is the runaway favorite at this point, because The Whale has come out and it hasn't been getting as well received as people expected. And we've seen it in the past that if your movie isn't well received, then you aren't necessarily a shoo-in to win actor. By all accounts, he's magnificent in The Whale, so I still think that he's going to win. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him lose in the Golden Globes, but that's a whole other story as to why Brendan Fraser wouldn't win at the Globes. I think ultimately they're going to give that one to Austin Butler. Bill Nighy for Living. I haven't seen Living. I'm assuming a lot of other people haven't seen Living. I'll be sure to watch it before nominations come out, because I want to be able to speak to his performance. From everything that I've heard, he is spectacular in Living. I just don't know enough about it. Tom Cruise is in there for Top Gun Maverick, and I think that he has pretty good odds at this point. I would personally slip in Paul Mescal in there over Tom Cruise, and if you saw my Aftersun video yesterday, you can listen to me more in depth talk about his performance in there. I think Paul Mescal was flawless in that movie. I would love it if he got nominated here. I think if Aftersun starts getting more and more momentum over the next few weeks, we can expect to see a whole lot more nominations for it than what Gold Derby has here right now. So he's definitely a possibility. Hugh Jackman has fallen quite a bit in the odds over the last few weeks, and I think it's because The Sun just hasn't been getting the critical reviews that it needs to push Jackman, even worse than The Whale at this point. But you know, Hugh Jackman is definitely a favorite for voters everywhere, especially actors. So it wouldn't surprise me if he got in there. I don't think Diego Calva is happening. Same argument I had for Brad Pitt not getting in for Babylon. I just think there are too many good performances here, and his movie was too divisive for the Academy to end up nominating the kid. Which is too bad, because I do think he was good in the movie. So all in all, I think the top 3 are locks. I would be shocked if one of those guys didn't get in. And then 4 and 5, it could go in multiple different directions. I can see a world where it's Bill Nighy and Tom Cruise, Nighy and Mescal and Cruise, Jackman getting in there as well. A whole lot can happen there. I would personally love to see Paul Mescal. Okay, and then for Best Actress, we got Cate Blanchett for Tar, Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, Danielle Deadwyler for Till, and Viola Davis for The Woman King. And I think that's a solid 5. I could see all 5 of those people getting nominated. I don't see Margot Robbie ending up getting it for Babylon, and I've said it with Calva, I've said it with Pitt. The movie was too divisive. If she did end up getting nominated, then I have no issue with it. She was very, very good in Babylon. I just think the movie itself might be dragging her down, and the other 5 that are in there, those performances are just so rock solid that it's going to be hard for Margot Robbie to get in there and bump one of them. I think that the top 2 are competing for the win there. Yeoh and Blanchett are absolutely getting nominated. I can see a world where Michelle Williams gets slipped out there. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little crazy there, but I don't know. I think that she will get nominated. She definitely has the third best odds. I agree with Gold Derby there. But again, there's a lot of tomfoolery that happens with the Academy, and The Fablemans is kind of like a schmaltzy go Hollywood movie, which I can see the Oscars wanting to reward because it's Spielberg, but at the same time, maybe they want to go for a more out there performance than Michelle Williams. She's excellent in the movie. I love The Fablemans, but I'm just speculating here. I do think she's going to get nominated, but there is a world where she doesn't. Let's check out the people on the outside looking in right now, and there really aren't many people, according to the odds, that are competing for that last spot. Of course, I've already talked about Margot Robbie. Olivia Colman for Empire of Light, I don't think it's going to happen. Apparently, she's acting her butt off in the movie, and the Academy does like her, so who knows? Maybe they decide to put her in there, but it's just hard with the 5 that they have right now. And then Ana de Armas for Blonde, I don't think so. The movie, people just didn't like it very much. She has been getting nominated in places. I personally have stayed away from the movie because I've heard some stuff in it that I just don't want to see. And that's just me. You can say that that's wrong all you want, but that's just me. I don't want to watch Blonde. Other than that, Mia Goth, it'd be cool to see her get in there, but it's never going to happen. If it does, that'd be awesome. Everyone else, I just don't see. Aubrey Plaza would be cool to see get in for Emily the Criminal, but again, just not going to happen. So I think that the 5 that are in there right now are totally plausible. I can totally see all 5 of them getting nominated. Okay, now Best Director, we got Steven Spielberg, The Fablemans, Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Todd Field for Tar, Martin McDonagh for Banshees of Inisherin, and then James Cameron for Avatar: The Way of Water. There are lots of people who I think are deserving of the nomination this year, and as I scroll, I'm seeing a glaring omission of a one Charlotte Wells for Aftersun. There is no way in my mind that she did not do a top 5 director job this year with Aftersun. It blows my mind that she's not in there. Now, that's not to take away from what the other 5 have accomplished, because I'm a big believer that if you're going to say someone gets snubbed, that means that you got to put someone out and put that person in. You're saying that this person did a better job than that person. But honestly, that's kind of hard to say. Daniels and Cameron, I think, are more than deserving for their nominations. McDonagh as well, Spielberg, Todd Field. I mean, all of them made great movies. That's what's so hard about this category, is there's so many good movies. There are 10 Best Picture nominations, and therefore there are 10 directors that made a Best Picture. Wouldn't they be deserving of Best Director? Absolutely, but there's only 5 slots, so it makes it harder. Let's check out some of the other people that are on the outside looking in right now. Sarah Polley for Women Talking. I don't think it's going to happen. Women Talking has lost all of its momentum. I wouldn't even put her at 6, to be honest. I would put Baz Luhrmann at the 6th spot right now. He has at least been getting nominated in places, so he's got that going for him. Gina Prince Bythewood, I don't think is going to happen either, but, she did do a good job. I can see that. If Rajamouli for RRR got nominated, that would be incredible. I would love to see him get nominated. I would rather Charlotte Wells get nominated if an outsider were to slip into the top 5, but, you won't see me complaining about RRR getting a ton of nominations. That's certainly a fun movie. Chazelle, he's not going to get nominated for Babylon. Edward Berger, I would love to see Edward Berger get in there. All Quiet on the Western Front, I watched it last week. Mind-blowingly good movie. If you have not watched that, definitely give it a watch. And I haven't done this with other categories, but I'll do it for you guys now. I'm going to name who I would nominate. And so, I think you put Daniels in there. I think you put Charlotte Wells in there. Those are my top 2. Charlotte Wells won't get nominated, and it's stupid. Regardless, she would be in my top 2. I think James Cameron definitely deserves it for Avatar. He worked 13 years on that movie, did the best visual effects ever in the history of film with Way of Water. He redefined the visual effects artwork again. So I think that he definitely deserves it. I want to give it to Spielberg because I love The Fablemans, and it's cool to see him make that movie. But I wouldn't put him in my top 3 directors of the year. If we're doing this on a merit standpoint, I wouldn't put him in the top 3. I'll keep him in the 5 at 4. So I would nominate him. And before I leave people out, please don't get mad at me. I love Tar. Banshees of Inisherin was excellent. I was on Elvis. I like RRR. I would actually put Edward Berger for All Quiet on the Western Front in the top five, to be honest with y'all. I think that's a fantastic movie, and a lot of it has to do with his direction. So Steven Spielberg, Daniels, and James Cameron are the three in their top five that I would put in there, and then I would slip in Edward Berger and Charlotte Wells. And all right, we're almost at the finish line, people. We got Best Picture, which is Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Banshees of Inisherin, Top Gun Maverick, Avatar: The Way of Water, Tar, Women Talking, Elvis, Babylon, and Glass Onion. So let me talk first about which ones I think are definitely getting in. Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think, is the front runner. That's most definitely getting nominated. Fabelmans, Banshees, Top Gun, Avatar, Tar. I think those six are definitely getting nominated. The rest of it is kind of up for grabs. Again, Women Talking has lost all of its momentum. I would not be shocked if that fell out of the top 10. Elvis right now, I think that has a really good shot of getting in. Austin Butler delivered a fantastic performance. Baz Luhrmann has been in the talks for Best Director. Right now, I think Elvis gets in there for Best Picture. Babylon, I think at the end of the day, it was too divisive. I don't think it gets in. And if it gets in, it's at like 9 or 10, you guys. I think that movie was a little too iffy for too many people. And then Glass Onion, which I think has pretty decent odds of getting in there. It was universally praised by critics and audiences and had a bunch of great performances. If they end up nominating Janelle Monáe for supporting actress, then I think Glass Onion would get in for picture. All Quiet on the Western Front, I think deserves it. I think it's going to get in there. It's been getting a lot of momentum. It's an excellent movie that just has spectacular buzz around it. So I think that movie's going to end up getting in for picture. I think its director delivered a top 5 job of the year. So that's just me. RRR, I think, has really good odds to get in as well because, again, it's a really popular movie and it was very good as well. I think that there's a world where we see 2 international films get in there for Best Picture. Triangle of Sadness has really good odds too, I gotta say. I don't remember if it won the Palme d'Or of the Cannes Film Festival, but it's been getting praise as well. I was on the movie. I think its third act was great, but the rest of the movie I was like I get the themes and stuff, but I wouldn't put it in there for Best Picture. The Whale I don't think gets in. She Said No. After Sun should. It absolutely should. I think it has a good chance. I don't believe the 100 to 1 odds in there. That is the small indie movie that could, no, I guess Everything Everywhere All at Once is the small indie movie that could, but this is the even smaller indie movie that can this year. So I think that After Sun could definitely get in there. I don't think they nominate Wakanda Forever. Pinocchio, some people were saying maybe it gets in for picture, but I don't know. I think it wins animated picture and the Academy just leaves it out at the top 10. So what could end up rounding out the top 10 here? Everything Everywhere All at Once. Well, the 6 that I said before. Everything Everywhere, Fabelmans, Banshees, Top Gun, Avatar, Tar. I think those 6 are pretty solid in there. Elvis at 7. Glass Onion could get in there. I completely breezed over Woman King. Sorry about that. Woman King could absolutely get nominated in there as well. But they may end up swapping it out for an All Quiet on the Western Front, an RRR, something like that. Maybe an After Sun. So I don't know. This is actually a pretty close race. And then we can't count out Women Talking and Babylon as well, because those two, well, Babylon at least has been getting all the nominations, but Women Talking apparently is a fantastic movie. It just lost all of its momentum randomly whenever it just started not getting nominations. But if Women Talking ends up winning screenplay, then yeah, it's going to get nominated for Best Picture. I don't see a world where a Best Screenplay winner doesn't get nominated for Best Picture whenever there are 10 slots. So Women Talking definitely could get in there as well. It's going to be a competitive race. I think that there are only 6 definite movies that are going to get in for Best Picture. The rest, I don't know, it could go a lot of different ways. So that's my really quick analysis on the updated Oscars rankings on Gold Derby. There are some things in there that I totally agree with, a few that I don't agree with. I'm going to do a video like I did last year talking about what my official predictions are for all of these major categories. But there's a lot that needs to happen between now and then for me to confidently give you guys my predictions whenever it comes to the Oscars. You know, it's not enough to have nominations. I gotta know who wins some of these things. But that's all I got for now. Thank you guys so much for watching the video up to this point. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, if you enjoyed this content, and I'll see you guys next time.